Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm Wendy Anderson on justbe.me. So, sorry I look a bit of I've just got back for a run and this just wouldn't leave me alone today. So, I'd read a message from a Reiki healer, and basically he'd done some Reiki healing for somebody and was really concerned that he wasn't doing enough. So I wanted to ask this question because I've been in this situation before as well with some beautiful clients and clients that have passed away, and you're heartbroken and you just think, have I done enough for this person? So this is really one for healers out there that are going through this little bit of suffering, and I've been with you on this one, so I know how it feels. So the sentence I got was, how I want to bring you safely back to peace, is what the guides were telling me. I want to bring you safely back to peace. So I was having all these thoughts about why did I really want to heal this person? It sent me onto a little inward journey as to why healing people is important. Is it my ego? And I will be absolutely honest, wouldn't it be fabulous, if this person suddenly got up and everything was okay and you kind of like, you could celebrate and have a party, and that would be absolutely celebration time and wonderful. And you'd feel so proud of yourself, and so then you've got to ask, am I wanting to heal because of ego? Is my self-worth attached to this? So that is one question, to be really, really honest with yourself as well. Mine was, I'll be completely honest, at one point. But also fear as well of the bereavement of the loved ones that are left behind. So you want to ease their suffering as well. So again, I questioned this about bereavement and the heartache when we lose a loved one. And the response I got was, bereavement and grief is another form of love. So you've loved somebody when you're feeling that sadness when they have left. However, for me, because my guides have shown me another perspective on what happens when we die, for me, yes, there is that sadness when we do lose a loved one, but this is how they described it to me as to when we pass. So how it used to be was how it's shown to me, and I've named the recycling centre. There were 3 phases. The first phase was the healing phase, so you could go and get some karmic healing. This phase was slightly broken in our 3rd dimensional journey, because we were still put back with the same families, the same karma, same shit, different life, basically. However, that's not actually the case at the moment, because we are ascending into 4th and 5th dimensionality living. There isn't the recycling centre there anymore. We're actually here, embodied in physical form, actually transforming our own karma. The Rainbow Children are here to help this as well with their beautiful rainbow bridge, and if you're with a rainbow child, you'll feel it. There's no friction with them because they haven't had a life on this planet, so they haven't got any karma with you or with anybody else. They're just a delight to be around, so they're here in this assistance of this progression as well. So then the second phase is a life review. And again, we are all kind of at the moment having these symptoms coming up, and these are all past traumas in DNA from our ancestors, from past lives and things like that. So they are coming up to the surface for us to become aware of them. So when we become aware of them, we can learn to love ourselves a little bit more. I know it seems probably completely against the grain because you're all grumpy when you're in pain, and kind of like the last thing you want to do is love yourself because you're all grumpy. But the universe will ask you to love the pain. It will ask you to love the symptoms because they are symbolic, or they are for you to shed that trauma that you are carrying around with you in your body. They are asking you to surrender it. They are asking you to let go of it. They're asking you to honour it. They're asking you to love it because it is part of your journey, it is part of you. But you can then choose, can I let this go, or am I wanting to carry it? Am I going to choose to continue to suffer, or can I choose peace? And it's only kind of in meditation and retrospection that I actually learned that you can do this, that in your now moment, you can choose, do I want suffering or do I want peace? And it's literally can be as simple as that. If you want to choose peace, then you surrender all thoughts, all mad and crazy thoughts that are going around in your mind. Just surrender them and just feel, I want to feel peace. I want to feel love. I want to feel well-being. I am asking. And when you ask the universe, it's got your back, it tends to deliver. May not be straight away, but you are placing a request on a timeline that the universe will honour for you, and at some point you will greet it in some way, in some space and time. You will greet it in a future now moment because you've requested it. So this is how they taught me to bring me safely back to peace. So the third phase, what happens when we die as well, is universal knowledge. So universal knowledge is just having a knowing. It's not about knowing long words or the level of intelligence that you can hold in your brain or qualifications, or that's not universal knowledge. Universal knowledge is just, you just have that feeling, you just have that knowing, and nothing can rock you from that knowing. You just know it and that's it, no matter kind of how fantastical or crazy that knowing could be to another person. It's just within you, it's within your DNA, it's within your makeup. And it could be experiences that you've had in your universal journey at some point. You know, we haven't just lived here on this planet, we have lived in other civilizations and other star civilizations as well. So you will hold all of that knowing within your DNA. But sometimes you have to go back to silence, you have to go back to quietness, you have to come back home to actually access that knowing when you're too busy, when everything is too loud. It's really difficult to access that knowing. So these days, because there is no veil and we are ascending to 4th, 5th dimensionality, there was a veil in 3rd, so you would have had to have meditated and floated off somewhere to kind of like access to this universal knowledge. Now, not so much. We are embodied. We have our, instead of our higher self, it is our inner self, which is taking over the ego, or rather it's replacing the egoic safety center, shall we say. So the ego will keep you in fear every time. It will, and anger and guilt and shame and all those low vibrational feelings, and nothing wrong with those. They've kept you safe for a long time. However, we are learning how to be safe differently. So the inner self will tell you, you are safe and sovereign. You are a light being in every now moment. Nothing can harm you unless you are choosing. So this is looking at life through a higher perspective, a different perspective. And there's nothing wrong with looking at it through 3D lens either. We've all done that for so long, so long. We've all done that. But now we can have a choosing to look at things differently from a wider perspective. And we are all having a calling to do this. Some of us have been called to do this first, and this is so scary. If you are a light worker, way shower, You know, you are doing things first, so you will have a knowing that may seem fantastical to another human being, and humans tend to need to hear things 3 times before they actually start to believe it. So you will have inner knowings that you have quietly accessed, that is your inner guidance center, and that inner guidance center is switched on early so you can then guide others. So when we have a call to healing, I think we have to ask the questions: why am I doing this? Why do I want to heal? The real truth, the real reason behind it. And also to ask the questions of, am I in my own suffering right now? How can I alchemize suffering when I am already in suffering? How can I come back to peace in myself? How can I heal myself? And when we heal ourselves, we actually heal another. Whoever we are in contact with, whoever is sharing our energy, wherever we wish that we want to project or share our energy, we can project it as far and wide as we are choosing. So we have an etheric field that it's infinite. It really is infinite. It can touch all corners of the universe. So geographically, it has no boundaries. So even in, you know, the 2-meter rule, you've got a big aura. 2-meter rule ain't gonna cut it. Just saying. So it's being in healing. It's being it's being in peace. So when we are healing others, yes, we can go through the physicalities of the body and everything else. You know, we do that energetically. We read the energy from people. We read the emotions from people. We read them. We get a read from them. But before we do this, it's getting a really true read from ourselves. Am I still in suffering? Can I alchemize this? Can I alchemize this into peace? And one way of doing it is to let go of all thoughts, to let go of all fear about your creation, to let go of fears. Will this person survive? Will this person transcend? And I think there should be, it's hard not to have any fears around that other person passing away either. Because death can and is benevolent. Death can be such a beautiful thing because it also is the beginning of life. So when we are incarnate into human form, it's the death of our spiritual being. When we actually die and pass away, it's actually the birth of our physical life. So there is a birth and death in every second. There is a birth and death within us too, but we are infinite beings of energetic light form. That is just journeying. Whether we are living here on Earth, or whether we are living in another place, it's all just births and deaths. There's all is good, all is well. So all those healers out there that feel kind of like, am I doing enough for this person? And kind of like, you will then put yourself into an energetic suffering because you're worried about, will this person survive? Can I heal this person? Just be peaceful with that person. Just be peace with the relatives of that person. Offer hope. There's nothing wrong with hope. Hope is such a beautiful thing in these times. When we are in times of despair, hope can sometimes be the thing that just lifts you, lifts your heart up, lets the light into the cracks. Otherwise you will just sink and sink and sink. So it can lift others' vibrations. So there's nothing wrong with hope. It is important to never give a false sense of hope as well. And it is, you know, because it's 50% in healing, it's 50% comes from you, but 50% has to come from the other person. If that person is not in receiving mode, and if that person has made a contract with themselves that this is their time, then it doesn't matter how much healing you can put out. There is always free will of the other individual that has a choice, that has choosing of either to stay in this quite dense energy, but it is still beautiful in its own right, or they can choose to transcend it and go back to the love of source. And the love of source is so beautiful, you know, that it isn't hard, it isn't frictional, it is just no words. It is amazing. So, you know, people that may meditate and get that euphoric feeling, love of source, it's coming home. So whether we are on this plane, or whether we are on a plane with source, whether we are on a plane with other star beings, all of it is good. All of it is good. It just depends how you feel about it, and what you think and what you've been taught. But if you can have a peaceful perspective upon whatever aspect or dimension you are in, then this is what you are creating as a creator being in all dimensions, space and time. So this was the little message that my guides wanted to give me today on my run that was running around through my head, and I had to share it, and take from it whatever you want to take from it, but just all you healers out there as well, one last message that I wanted to give you is that you are celebrated. You are celebrated for shining your light. You are celebrated for showing everybody the way that it can be done. Everybody's got the capacity to heal themselves or heal another person. Everyone has the capacity to do this. But the healers that are around at the moment, you've been a healer at some space and time before. So you've just got that vibration, that you can just find yourself to it again, to that path. But everyone has the capacity to do it. So we celebrate all you healers and empaths, and all you empaths, we celebrate your sensitivity. Even though sometimes it seems like a curse, it really, really is a gift, because you're taking on board everybody else's suffering and alchemizing it into peace, alchemizing it into love. And without that sensitivity, you wouldn't be able to feel it, you won't be able to alchemize it, you won't be able to do it. So we just want to say we celebrate you and we thank you, and you are so loved, all of you. And sometimes our guides sit there and kind of think, we question ourselves as so much that we're not good enough, or we can't do this, or so they want you to just know that you can do this, you have got this, no matter how fantastical it feels. If you're feeling, I can heal somebody, oh, am I deluding myself? That's ego. It's ego saying that you can do this, you can do anything that you want to do. So you are celebrated. I will leave my love with you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep doing what you are doing. Keep healing, keep loving. Give the thoughts back to source. Give the suffering back to source. And I share a little bit of peace with you. All right, take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.